But you see this all the time. Only 2 remaining. You know, buy now, hurry up. Amazon has even done it in big red letters, you know. Only 2 remaining, buy now. Won't be on stock until who knows when. So you feel like this rush, I gotta hurry, I gotta get this done. Here's my analogy is, if we have that about things that aren't really that important, here's a twist. There's only one of you, which makes you a scarce commodity. And you should be sizing things up and have that confidence because there's only one of you. So only 1 remaining. Ta-da! Here I am. It's kind of an interesting concept to kind of think, which also brings to the hack, is that you are valuable because there is only one of you. So showing your value is a great thing to do in interviews. And one of the things that Jeff and I have talked about is in an interview asking questions. And when do you ask questions? Now there's a little bit of a hack to this, is if you have the opportunity to ask questions first in the interview, subconsciously you kind of control the conversation. So if you have the opportunity, it's always a good idea to have questions in mind that you'll ask. The other thing that this does subconsciously is it makes the interviewer feel like you're sizing up the job as well, because you're the scarce commodity, not the job. And so what they do is, as you're asking questions about the job, they will maximize the pros while they minimize the cons. And so now all of a sudden they are selling you on the job opportunity rather than you selling them on yourself, which is always fun. So having questions that you know that you can ask that kind of puts you in that position. Questions like, what does the day look like? What are the pros and the cons of this position? What does this position look like in 5 years? It makes you show that you're sizing up the opportunity to see if it's a good fit for you. I actually had the opportunity to do this a while back. I was having a phone interview, and I asked probably about 10 questions in succession, really fast. After he gave me an answer, I asked another one, and he goes, wow, I've never had so many questions before. You're pretty cool. I like you. And I was like, I'm trying to understand what this job looks like. And this helps me understand. He goes, I like that because it seems like you're trying to make sure that this is a good fit for you, as well as me trying to figure out if you're a good fit for us. So interviewers actually like the questions, and it does a subconscious kind of shift in the interview process to make you feel more scarce, more valuable. Another way to show your value is solving a problem. Code for some people is fairly easy. I'm not a code expert. I can't solve code at all. I can solve a lot of problems, but not that one. But since we've talked about it, the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce, when I was applying for that job, I actually did some research and I found that the #1 problem that chambers face is retaining their members. And so when I went into the interview, I actually said to the interviewer, my boss, I said, it seems like chambers have a problem retaining members. And she was like, oh, yeah, we do. We have that problem, yeah. And I was like, so if I got hired, I have this plan of these things that I want to do because as a small business owner, I understand what other small business owners are looking for when they're looking for an ROI on their memberships. And so if I got this job, I would implement this program, and we would do this to bring more value to these businesses. So when it came time to retain that membership, there was no question. And so offering me a job was actually not really a gamble because I had solved or had the potential to solve one of their biggest problems. And I've since done that. I've started those programs that I said I was going to start. Our retention has grown, and so has our growth of the chamber. So I've hiring me was not much of a gamble because I had already said, here's the problem, here's how I would solve it. Kind of set me apart and made me stand out from the rest of the crowd. So showing your value, solving a problem is all very important in the job interview process. Hack number 14, solve their problem, because then you're not a gamble. And the same thing, know the company, know the problems that they're facing, and be able to ask questions. If you don't know what they do, then you can't really ask a question. Do not ask the question, what do you do? You should know what that looks like before the job interview. So know the business, know the company, know their values. Make sure that their values are in sync with your values so you can harmonize those values together. You'll be much happier in the long run in the business.